Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and today we're coming back with another custom keyboard, and this time we have to thank KBDFans. They sent me out the Athena 1800, and look at this box, it just looks already great in terms of the packaging. KBDFans has really been coming out with a lot of cool boards, and this is going to be my second almost full-size custom keyboard. As you guys know, I've tried the Neo 98. This time it's going to be the Athena 1800, and we're gonna have to see what this is like, because this board looks really nice, and from what I saw, it's got two mounts and it looked really cool with what I could do. Plus, you actually can get this pre-built versions with like their own keycaps and switches, the roller switches. So we're gonna actually try it with the roller switches and with the keycaps they provided, which is a PBT set, and we can also try it with some other switches so you guys can get a sound test and see what it's like. Now, let's get straight into the unboxing, but please make sure to like and subscribe. Now, introducing to you the Athena 1800 from KBDFans. This is also the KBDFans 1984 keycap set, which KBDFans really was nice to me and sent out so much stuff all together with this whole build. I was quite impressed with it and very, very thankful for everything that they sent. So we're going to check out the KBDFans 1984 dark keycap set first and see what this is like. So this is going to be a PBT set, and honestly, I really love the design of this thing. Like the way that they sent everything to me with the novelties and every little piece that you can actually get with this kit is really nice. The fact is the packaging is also nice, and they even sent me out the Type Plus stabilizers. So this is like a whole kitting that you guys can get with KBDFans for the Athena 1800. And honestly, I think overall everything together is just incredible. Like this is probably one of the best keycaps containers that I've ever seen. It really is easy to store, and I really like how they did all of this. Now, this Type Plus stabilizer, this is the first time I'm getting my hands on this, and honestly, I really was excited to try it out. I've heard really good things about this thing, and one of the things was that I heard it's really difficult to kind of put together compared to, say, the Knight V4s or the, Maze screw-in stabs or the clip-in stabs or the cherry stabs. So we're gonna have to see how this is like. Now, they also sent me out the roller V2s. I was actually really curious about these switches as well. Overall, the rollers are going to have the ball bearings inside, which is going to be quite interesting to see with the feel as well as the sound, and we'll do a lot of sound tests with this all. Now, this is the box from KBDFans for the Athena 1800. This is an incredible packaging. Like you can see all the accessories right at the top. You have the gasket mount, you have the top mount, you have extra screws, you have a screwdriver, you have the feet, you also have top mount stickers just in case if you want to do any force brake mounts, which is really awesome. You also get the special badges. So the badge is already going to be installed, but you get a little kit so you can put it in there if you'd like, if you have other badges you want to switch to, so you have a container to just hold them. They also give you another screwdriver with the extra top pieces as well, so that's going to be for the case as well as the top mount. You get everything you need inside of the box. That means this is all ready for you. You don't have to worry about buying your own tools or anything. Everything comes together. They also sent me out an extra plate, so I got both an alu plate and a CF plate. These are my favorite plates in general for building custom keyboards, and I'm really curious how this is going to be like. They also sent me out the foam kit. This is going to be the PCB. It is a hot swap PCB, so I didn't go for the solder one. And now we're going to look at the case itself. So as you can see here, I got the silver case. KBDFans was actually quite nice in terms of explaining what they think would have been really nice with the keycap set, because I really wanted to try the 1984 dark keycap set, so they said the silver is going to be the best color, so that is what I went with. I was originally thinking about the raw version, but I'm glad I went with the silver because this is really nice, and you can really see here when I get this out how nice this board looks. It is incredible. I did notice there was a loose screw in there, so this is something just keep in mind, and when you are opening the box, just make sure you're careful to see where the screw came from. Really have to say, KBDFans did a great job with this design, and the whole build quality, it just feels so incredible. It feels really heavy in the hands. Like we're gonna weigh it here, and it's gonna weigh a total of 2 kgs, just the case alone. So the first thing we're going to do is going to lubing the stabilizers. So I already lubed the housing, and then I lubed the stem. So we're going to do 205G0, so the Krytox 205G0, lube that. Then we lube the wires, of course. with 205G0 as well. So I heard Type Plus, you don't need to use BDZ, which is what I normally use. So we use Crytox 205G0 for everything and then put it all together. Now you can see here all the stabilizers are done. So time to put this case together with the PCB and the plate. We're going to start off with the alu plate. The reason being is alu plate, I believe, is a great base point in terms of sound tests, and it's just a good way to see what works because a lot of boards usually come with alu plates. Now I'm going to be using the Roller V2s first, so we'll do a full sound test with the Roller V2s inside of the case with the board and the different mountings, and then I'll try other switches as well. So I'm going to be removing the Blue Cheese V2 this time in this video just because it's just too much to do. So we're going to be doing the Roller V2s, the Cheese V2s from Keybay, as well as the Cherry MX28 Blacks, just because that's a great base point. Now you can really see there on the back, I love the look of it. And the owl eyes is incredible with it, and the brass look, that just gives it a good top point with it. I just love how this board looks. It's really incredible. Now, before I start putting in the switches, the thing I'm going to grab is going to be the fork. So when you do make a build, just using a fork is quite safe. It helps to keep the plate above the PCB so your plate doesn't really push in. Usually this is more for like plastic plates, but using it for alu plates or CF plates still helps a lot. I usually use it because it's just easier so that the plate doesn't fall in and the switches actually go in properly into the plate and are held really well. It also affects the sound if the switches aren't properly in, so keep in mind this is something to grab if you do need one for yourselves. Now we got all the switches in. The next thing we're going to do is put it into the case itself. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to try the gasket build. So the gasket mount, they have the little silicone gaskets, and they also have screws for a top mount. The reason I'm going to do gaskets just because I love gasket mount. The top mount is probably the best base point to start with, and the sound test will start with the top mount. So you will see me do many different sound tests, and you'll get so many with this specific video. Now, there is a total of 8 screws that have to be removed on the back of the case to be able to move the top case. It's quite easy to remove. The screws have its own screwdriver, which you can just use from KBDFans. It's actually a really nice screwdriver. I was quite surprised and really enjoyed using it. Now we're going to remove the top casing, and then we're going to go into doing the first portion of the build. So as I said, we're going to start off with the gasket mount just because that is my favorite in terms of build. So I'm going to show you guys how to do the gasket mount. You remove the gaskets. Just be careful, by the way, there is just enough silicone gaskets for this build inside of the accessories bag. So there's no extras. If you lose one, it's kind of GG's. So be careful of that. It would have been nice if KBDFans provided some extras inside the accessories bag. This is something that I noticed, and yeah, I think this is quite important because these are very small. Like, they can fall out kind of easily, so it's not going to be really great. And you have to see here that there's a specific side you want to put it in from. So one side actually goes out a little bit. Make sure you put it in from the right side. Now time to finish off the build with the gasket mounting. We're going to put it into the bottom case, put on the top case, and now we're going to screw in the case together. Also keep in mind, I do stream on Fridays. As you can see, chat is on the corner there. It's because I did stream the build a couple weeks ago and obviously making this video together, and I thought it'd just be nice to record the building process just because it'd be easier, and then you guys can also see and catch it. So make sure to catch my streams because that's where I'm going to be doing a lot of custom builds on different boards like mechanical, even Hall Effect in the future. So really would love you guys to check it out on Fridays every week at around 5 p.m. PST. Now it's time for the keycaps. As you can see here, I'm going to put in the keycaps and really make a kind of cool design out of it. I really love how these look. I think they did a great job with the design, and it really fits well with the case. Like you'll see here at the end results, it looks incredible. I love how it looks, and it really is something that you should look into. Like the keycap set is $65 for the kitting and everything you're getting. It's a very great deal. Now I'm going to show you how to do the top mount as well. So you actually take out the gaskets, the silicone gaskets. Then you're going to put in the top PCB with the plate into the top casing, and then there's going to be the screws. It's going to be a little bit smaller in size, and you have to make sure to line up the holes carefully because it's quite small and the plates can move a little bit just because this is a little bit of a bigger board. So make sure you just line it up very, very carefully when you are putting in the screw. I would highly recommend lining up the first corners first and then going into the other screws after. So as you can see there, you just put that in, and then you have to fill in every single mounting. So there's quite a bit of mounting points that you have to do for the top mount, but it's not too difficult at all. we've done the build, and what is my first impressions of this thing? The build quality of the Athena 1800 is incredible. Now, one thing you have to consider is the price of this thing. So the price of the Athena is like $250 USD, and then of course, depending on your add-ons, it will start to increase with the shipping and taxes. For what the price is, this thing's build quality is incredible. I'm actually very impressed. It feels really heavy in my hands, and the whole design of this thing is really nice. I really love what they did with it. Now, the keycaps though is going to be PBT keycaps. Now we're going to be going and focusing with the specific PBT keycaps. I know normally a lot of us custom keyboard builders would like to use ABS, but this is more of like a pre-built setting that you can get with KBDFans. So we're going to stick with this. I do have two plates. So I have a CF plate and an alu plate. We'll do sound tests with both with the roller switches because that is what they provided. And then we'll try two other switches as well with this just so the video doesn't get too long. I think this is going to be impressive in terms of everything. I heard the gasket mount's a little bit better, so we're going to have to really hear and see the difference between the two. And of course, see the difference between the plates because I've also heard the CF plate has a lot of resonating as well. So let's go straight into the sound test and see what this thing is like. So overall, the design and everything that came out of this board, it just looks beautiful. It is a high quality keyboard from KBDFans. You can really see they put a lot of detail into this, even into the side design. Like the side profile looks beautiful. Now, one thing I was kind of surprised though was the USB port was on the right side, but it's not too bad. Now the screen there, you actually type faster, the character moves quicker. So that is a really cool feature. Now in terms of the front profile, it's 18.1 millimeters, and then the back height is going to be 37 millimeters. So keep in mind this for yourselves. It has a typing angle of 9 degrees, and from the top to the bottom height, you're looking at 138 millimeters. So 9-degree type angle for this board. Now in terms of how loud the roller switches are with this board, it is decently loud. You're getting very close to the volume of like a vacuum noise, and overall the roller V2s, I'm going to be completely honest, makes this board resonate a lot. It's not the greatest combination with the Athena 1800. I think it would work better in a smaller board compared to this one. Now the alu plate and the CF plate, I personally think the CF plate is a little bit better. That's just my personal preference, but a plastic plate probably would do a lot better. Now, something to keep in mind, if you have a brass bottom or steel bottom, I would highly suggest putting the bottom foam on the bottom, because I've heard people shorting their PCBs. You do get 2 different mounting styles, and honestly, I think the CF is the best. I've heard the steel version of the back isn't too great for sound wise and can be even more hollow sounding. For the price, I think they did an amazing job. You can really see here, it starts at $229 USD, and I saw the raw version, guys. Nav built it and it looks incredible. The silver also looks really nice. I think they did a great job with the renders for all the colors. Really, I think, except for the e-coating, which I haven't checked out myself, so I can't say, but the anodizing that they did was just really well done. Overall, the pricing that this board starts at is almost mind-boggling, because I would have expected this to be a lot more expensive. In my mind, when I was using the board, I didn't look at the price first. My thoughts was, oh, this is probably going to be around like a $350 keyboard, like USD. But it starts at $229, and then when you add all the parts in, which adds about $110, and then the keycap set, which is about 65 USD here, when you go in, this whole kit costs 302 USD. That, I feel like, for what you are getting with this board is quite nice. Now, I'm going to be honest, the screen is a little bit tacky, but the overall build quality of this board is quite nice. Now, it's going to have a little bit of resonation, but if you are looking for a full size, check this out. Overall thoughts is that the Athena 1800 is really great value for what you're paying and everything you're getting. Now, there's a couple of caveats and things to keep in mind. This is what I've heard from some viewers, is that if you're doing foamless completely, be careful of the edges, because there's a chance that you could actually short your board. It does have a little bit of flex, and it could tap into the case, which I heard is causing some shortage. So this is something to be careful of. You can always put the case foam, just the bottom case foam on there, just to be safe about that. Overall, the top mount is going to have a lot of resonation to it. Same thing as the CF plate. So if you combine the two together, you're going to get a lot of resonating with this board. I really think the gasket mount is the way to go with this thing. Gasket mount sounded really nice, and the roller switches are really nice if you want something a little bit more on the deeper sounding side, like almost thocky. Has like a slight clactor if you're doing foamless, but if you do foam, you are really getting more of like a thocky sound. But overall, they did a great job with this. I'm quite impressed, and gotta say, I love how this thing came out. So go check it out for yourselves. I'll have the links in the description, and of course, go check out the other videos I got, and I'll have to catch you guys next time.